What's up guys, Jake from MACkite here today with the 2022 Cabrinha bindings. Today we're going to do a general overview. Maybe we'll get into a little review as I have experience on all of these, but for the most part this is an informational session. So let's get started here. We have three different models in front of us. First, the Cabrinha H1s. This is going to be their most simplified binding. It's just a single strap system. It works really well, it's functional, it's basic. In the middle here we have the H2O binding. This has two adjustment straps. It has a density pad underneath so you can harden or soften underneath the heel. And it's probably like their most premium sophisticated binding. And then to my far left here we have the new Cabrinha Source. A little spoiler, this is probably one of my favorite bindings on the market currently. So let's go over all of them, what makes each one great, what are the drawbacks for each one, and then we can maybe hone in on which one's right for you. So all of these bindings are going to utilize a 6-inch hole spacing pattern. So that means when you're looking at your board, if you measure from the center of one hole to the center of the hole over here, that's going to be 6 inches. And all of these bindings are going to accommodate that. Most major brands on the market do utilize a 6-inch hole spacing pattern. So with the H1s, you can see when you pull them out of the box, you're going to get two different portions. One, you're going to get this bottom pad right here, nice texturing right here, a little bit of contour there, just plastic flaps right there where you can line up your holes. Then underneath, fairly basic, you know which one is going to be your right and your left binding. And then you're also going to have the top binding. So we'll actually grab the right portion here. I'm not sure that there's a call out underneath this one, but reference this video and you want the broader part of the pad to match up over here with the furthest out on the strap. So when you're installing this, you're simply going to go line up hole on hole, and then you're going to fold it over. This is a single strap system, like I said earlier, secured by Velcro. So you're simply going to pull that open, pull the second tab open, and that's going to give you your adjustment range. So there's some black plastic tabs in here, so you can simply slide those to expand or make this binding smaller. The H1s are available in two sizes. I happen to have the small here in my hand. Those are going to be for a foot size US male 9 or smaller. If you're, I want to say like in that 8 and above range, you'll want to go with the standard. Also, if you're wearing a bootie, I would recommend going with the standard, even if your feet are a little bit smaller, because you will need more strap to accommodate that. So anyway, very basic system. What's nice about this though is how simplistic it is. These are really fast to adjust. I like these a lot in the wintertime when I am wearing booties because it can be really hard to get a precise fit, and the more straps there are to tighten, the more difficult that's going to be. So just a simple one strap system is kind of a classic. The drawbacks with these, again, they are a little bit more simple, so they may not be as comfortable as some of these bindings to my left here, but they work really, really well. So let's move on to the H2Os then. As I said earlier, these are quite sophisticated. You can see that this is a 2-strap system now. So you simply go ahead, undo that right there, and it's got this main body pad. So the adjustment on this is going to function a little bit similar to something maybe like the Slingshot Dualies or the Nash Apex, where it has kind of like these 4 different adjustment points, 2 on each side, and then you're going to manipulate the pad accordingly. As I said earlier, it has the soft density pad underneath installed. You can put a hard one there as well if you do want a little bit more firmness underneath your heel. And you can adjust basically the amount of kind of pitch that this strap has by playing with this underneath. That'll also allow you to have more strap. So with this zonal adjustment, you're really able to tighten this down and get a really nice fit on your foot. Going back to the track, this will allow you to position it with a little bit more nuance, a little bit more customization. And then also underneath here, you can actually change where these straps connect on the binding, so that will allow you to account for a little bit of a foot difference and find the best fit possible. So generally what you get with these is probably the most precise fit. Drawbacks to them, there is a lot going on, so you got to spend a little bit of time fiddling, making sure you're getting the correct fit. This top piece right here is maybe not necessarily bulky, but it's a little bit more rigid, so you don't get a lot of like necessarily zonal adjustment. So it's a little bit, let's say, monolithic, and when you tighten it down, despite all of these adjustment points, this pad kind of just moves as a big cohesive unit. So I found I don't have quite as much actual like customization when it comes to locking on my foot. Also with booties, I can play with this underneath to make them bigger, but I found something like the H1, I just prefer its simplicity. It feels like I can get a better locked-in fit with my booties versus having to toggle with this. So a really solid strap, really comfortable, lots of customization options. A solid upgrade from the H1 if you are looking for a little bit more comfort. So then finally we have the Cabrinha source pad here. These are the newest from Cabrinha, and I really like this system. They kind of simplified the H2O, but I think they made a couple of little improvements which make it my personal favorite strap in the lineup. So my bias is I've really liked the duotone entity straps, or duotone ergos, and I also really like the Liquid Force Pro pads because I really like this pad adjustment system. So how it works is it's one piece over here, and then it actually forks off and it splits, and you've got like this rear foot pad, and then you've got this front pad. When it comes to really latching it down and anchoring your foot, I think this is probably one of the better systems out there. You get a really true zonal fit. With my personal foot shape, I can really lock it down around the toe, and I get that comfortable, secure fit where it doesn't feel like the board's gonna fly off as I kick it overhead and do a big spin. So I feel really comfortable and confident when I'm wearing these straps. You can adjust it from both sides. You have a little adjustment over here as well as these two. And then if we flip it upside down, much like the H2Os, you've got this pad under, you got the straps underneath here where you can simply go ahead there, move the Velcro, and that's going to allow the pads to expand to get a little bit larger because there's more strap. It's going to tell you the size, it's going to tell you which foot, and then they also put the screws right here in the pad. You simply pull these out. It's nice storage if you're traveling, but it's also really nice when you get everything in the box. You know that the screws are right underneath here, not loosely floating around. It does have this kind of novel clip system here where it's grooved throughout here, and then it's grooved on this top tab as well. So this allows you to play around a little bit and figure out how close you want these straps to the side of the pad. If you have a more narrow foot, you can move it closer, where if your foot is like a little wider, you can push it out here. And if your foot is like, let's say, a little bit flatter on the top, pushing it out will be less archy when you strap it down, and it'll be a little bit more encompassing there. This is a really cool system. It did take me a little bit of playing around with to get right. And the first time I put them on my board, I didn't get them matched up. It was kind of frustrating because I was in a hurry. So make sure when you're installing these, you do have some time to make sure to get the fit really right. You have some time to experiment with where you put this in the grooved track, and you're really gonna like these straps. They also worked very well with boots. As I mentioned earlier, I think single strap systems tend to work the best with booties, with the exception of this particular configuration. It does a really good job of accommodating that extra size. It isn't going to have the bottom fitness or firmness plate that the H2Os are going to have. And this bed here is a little simplified. Maybe not surprising, this is less expensive than the H2Os. The H1s are in the $130 range. These, I believe, are around $170, and then the H2Os Generally retail closer in like the $220 range. They're all really, really good options. So when it comes to figuring out which one is right for you, I would say if you just want a really basic strap that's going to perform well, there's not a lot of bells and whistles, you don't really need that, or you're wearing booties, H1 is a great way to go. If you want a step up on the H1 straps, and you want a really great customized fit with some kind of novel bells and whistles, I would say the Cabrinha source straps are awesome. I think at $170, you get so much bang for your buck. This is probably one of my favorite straps on the market currently, and it is in 3 different sizes, a small, medium, and a large. If you want the most luxurious plush fit, you want something that looks really good, where you can tweak the firmness underneath the heel bed, you've got a really nice toe grip, I would say the H2Os are a good strap to go with. They're very premium. They have a lot of the same systems that the Source does, or probably because the Source came after, the Source has a lot of systems that originated here with the H2O. They're all great straps. If it was my choice, I would probably go with the Source, but there's not a wrong option here on the table. Guys, as always, thanks for checking us out. This has been Jake with MACkite.